Well, hello there, my melodious little mice. How are you? I hope your day is going well. So today we're going to talk about the Undertale soundtrack and what it means to me, because it's very near and dear to my heart. This is not a critique. What do I know about music? Nothing. I just enjoy the soundtrack as a whole, as well as certain ones. That's what I want to talk about. So, before we get started, I want to show you. Get this in this freaking PlayStation 4 case. Undertale Collector's Edition soundtrack. Look how cute. Look at our mom. Our mom is singing with our friends. This is cute. Very cute. Very cute. Alphys is so tiny, right? Look how small Alphys is. I live. Also, Blukey. Also, we didn't shout out Metatong, my love. Okay. And inside, aside from the actual music, look it. You get the sheet music. And not only do you get the music, which is not really super useful for me because I do not play piano. Maybe I could adapt some of the stuff. I feel like I could take like the overall melody and play it on the flute. If I even remember how to play the flute, it's been a long time. Since high school. But something I really like about this is in it there's little like annotations from Toby Fox himself, and some of these, I'm not gonna read all of them, you have to get it yourself. But some of them, I really like stuck with me, and I have cut out and I put on my like creative help board or whatever. It's not like a dream board, it's like when I'm feeling down, I look at it and like, okay, yeah. It helps me keep motivated. This quote of, you don't need to write something complicated to express a deep feeling. And then later on in this thing, I already said it, but simplicity is purity. It only takes a few notes to create a dream, to create a memory. Don't forget that. I did not forget, Toby Fox. I did not forget. Because whether you are creating music or really anything, I think trying to narrow it down is important. I have the tendency to make everything too complicated, so it's good advice, especially for someone like me. So I listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, and music. Like, maybe too much, like all the time. Podcasts and those kind of things when I'm like doing cleaning or driving to work, stuff like that. But when I am doing creative endeavors, it's 50% classical music, 50% just random OSTs from like games or movies or whatever that I like. But as much as I love this soundtrack, and I cannot listen to it while I'm like doing my own creative stuff, because it is so engrossing and like engaging that it'll be like I start thinking about Undertale and I can't like think about my own thing. And it reminds me of how musicals, like I can't listen to anything with like lyrics or any musicals, because obviously musical, it tells the whole story through the songs. And I feel like that is how Undertale's original soundtrack is, right? Even though there's no lyrics, it is so deeply associated with characters or scenes or whatever that it really feels like a musical. I mean, that one part, it was a musical. But like the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's like that for other people. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because it's my favorite game and I'm so like into it that like I can't get out of it. I don't know. But I think that's a great thing. This is not a read at all. It's just really interesting to me. It's the only one. Like there's other games that I love and I can still like do my stuff. I think for me, someone who doesn't know anything about like music, or I don't know, I guess if you're like creating a film or something or whatever, you'd have to have that like background music to tell your story. It's not something that I do. But I feel like for other things that I encounter, the music sets the mood, or especially like in horror, it like really sets the tone, girl. Like that's normal. But for me and Undertale, it feels like the music is not another character, but like an enormous part of the plot. So that like can you play Undertale on like with no music? I would not do that. But there's other games where I'll do that, where I'd just be like, I'll do something. It feels so tied to the whole story. And I also like, I'm sure there's like a musical word for this and I just don't know, but like the foreshadowing or like through lines of certain melodies I think is like fantastic. So the whole like you enter the core zone and like you hear that like beginning part, and then that's kind of like the foreshadowing of the beginning of Death by Glamour. That's good. we've already talked about how I don't understand composers. I don't understand people who like make music who are just like, this is a good beat, and they just make a melody. Like, I don't get how that happens, but I think it's wonderful. It's like wizardry, it's magic, it's wonderful, it's so exciting. But Toby Fox in particular, he's like the extra good wizard. Like, I don't know, at least for me, like, everything, music and everything is like personal taste, but it's like, you really did that. You really did that. And of course, we all love the Megalovanias. We all love the trouncing of bones. Those are obvious. But I wanted to select songs that have like a specific deep meaning for me, or I've like created a deep meaning, I guess, from them, or some kind of anecdote or something aside from it's good, like, because that's basically like everything on this. The other thing I wanted to just quickly shout out, because they were like my runners-up, was Undertale, the song, not the game, and Reunited, which is playing right now, because those two, very good, very good, very good, gives you feels. Undertale, the song, it's like spooky ooky. How, like, if this was a research paper, if Undertale the game was a research paper, Undertale the song was like the abstract that is perfectly written. Like, it's like, this is all the things that you felt and are going to feel at the end. Like, it's good. It's talent, man. It's talent. So first up, the song I would like to talk about is Home. I feel like Home is just one of those, like, everybody likes it. How, like, it makes you feel, it's such a visceral song. It makes you feel the feels of being in a place that is like warm, loving, and will like accept you no matter what. A place that you can go when everything is bad and you can go there and feel safe. Like, that's a special feeling to wrap up into a song, ne? I feel like too, this song is interesting because it not only reminds me of like Undertale the game, of like Tori's house, of mom and the pies and the snails and the books, like, it gives you that, and you definitely feel that, but at least for me, at the same time of holding this, it reminds me of my own personal home, the feeling that I felt like, especially as a child, being home, or I don't know, either a past home that doesn't exist, a current home, which ideally you want to feel, or like an imaginary home if you've never even had that, of like what it would feel to have those things. It doesn't have to have Toriel or the Undertale's created home. You know what I mean? I think that duality of like having the story of Undertale as its own contained thing be very good, but also because it's a simplistic kind of, it gets right to the heart of a feeling, it can be easily picked up by the player and associated with the player's feeling, like for Tori, like a mother figure or something like that. That's why I love it. That's no shade, because that kind of like preciseness is so hard to do. Like, at least for me, I really respect that kind of story. But I also think this is a reason, my theory, I have no proof, of why Undertale in particular, I have never encountered any kind of fan thing that has this much of like a fan spin-off things. I feel like there's so many different versions of Sans I don't understand anymore. But the point is, I think because these characters are very pure, it's easy for people to like identify with them right away. And that kind of thing is, I think, I don't know, it makes the game more special to me. I played Undertale in 2020, so, but I feel like even if I played it earlier, like when it came out, I definitely would be latching onto this song during these times, because I don't know about you, but 2021 was worse for me than 2020, and that's saying something. It's nice to be able to have this like fast pass to a comforting, safe place when it is very hard to find that kind of thing nowadays with everything going on. It's very stressful. Part of the reason I was on a hiatus was there was some family situations, one of them being like a severe Alzheimer's thing, which has been very exhausting. There's a death in the family, was a separate thing, and it feels like for me personally that a lot of the places that were home, because I was very fortunate enough to have multiple places and most people don't have anything, so Not trying to, you know, but that place is no longer available to me in the way that it used to be. So having this song, I would play this song when I was at that place a lot, is it would help me remember the home that used to be there. And I mean, that kind of sounds like, wow, that's heavy, but it comforted me very much that even if the home, this current home is more like a house and no longer has that feeling or those people, my memory of that time can never be taken away from me. And just like Undertale is always available, kind of like perpetually available, you could just restart the game and like go through the experience again. In some ways for me, past experiences are like that, for better or worse. The good ones are like that, where even if things are bad, you can remember those times. So home is kind of like a remembering that concept and that feeling for me. So I feel very grateful to this song. Yes. In a similar feel-good, kind of like a comforting way, is Fallen Down. I love the melody of this song, but I love more than the melody of the song is those fuzzy notes in the background. You know what I'm saying? Those fuzzy notes, they're fuzzy. They're so fuzzy. I love the way that they sound. I can't really say that I've heard that kind of sound before, maybe, or I wasn't really paying attention. They're so it's like getting a little hug from Toria. A little fuzzy hug, a little warm fuzzy hug. It's great. I love it. I don't have a whole lot to say on this aside from it just makes you feel like you've had like a hot cocoa and your insides are all like warm and like poka poka and nice. It's just like, it's good. It's a good song. Snowed in Town. Everyone loves this song. You better. It's good. It's good. Snowed in Town gives me the feeling of I finally got off of work, or if you want to go take it further back, when you're like on winter vacation as a kid from school. It's like that feeling where you're just like, I can explore, I can just live and have fun, and I don't have obligation. Like, that's what it reminds me for personally. It also has this feeling, I personally have never lived in a like small town or a town where I was very close to the community. Like, I wish, but that's just not my reality. This song makes me feel like, yes, you have. Like, it gives me that feeling of like, you know everybody in the town, and it's snowing. I have never experienced snow, but it's snowing and it's pretty and not painful, and like, I don't know, it just makes you feel like, it makes you feel home, but not in like a tender, like emotional way, but in a more like, I'm comfortable and I'm just like gonna enjoy the holiday season kind of feeling. The beauty of winter. Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Battle Against a True Hero is a very important song to me. It is the song that I wake up every day to go to work with, like my alarm setting song. All the Undyne songs give me a similar vibe, obviously, because they're Undyne, but this one is by far my favorite. Out of the whole soundtrack, it gives me the most determination. Like, it makes me feel like, no, I get up and you make things happen, and like, you don't give up, and you just like push through, even if it's hard. Like, it really fires me up. It's great. It's so good. This song, because it plays when it's the undying fight, it just reminds me of that. Wow. Undyne in general is just like super cool. She's so strong and just like goals. I don't know. Like, I really admire Undyne in that capacity. But the concept of like undying, or that you're like so like, no, you have to protect, or you have to do something that you like undie to keep going, is just, I don't know. There's something like very beautiful about that I like really resonate with me. So like this song reminds me of that, I guess, thing. So it helps me when I'm feeling tired and ready to give up. You definitely should have seen this one coming. Death by Glamour, of course. Somewhere along the line, because this wasn't, okay, when I played Undertale the first time, which you can see, Metaton was good, and I really liked Metaton. Definitely up there in the character sphere, but I would definitely say that Papyrus was my like #1 favorino. But somewhere along the line after playing, it's like, it sit in my mind, Metaton has rose to the top, has become my sweet little green bean. Like, it's a long story that long personal story I don't need to get into about, I think, what he represents for me personally, but I gotta pick this song. Who doesn't love this song? I feel like this song, the build-up is good, the different, like, segments, is that weird to say? They're all good, but when that chorus hits, girl, when that chorus hits, it's good! It's like a good time. It is so good. This song, this is maybe gonna make me sound super weird, I don't care. Whenever I hear the song, especially the chorus, I imagine, like, before, I mentioned all of the, like, Undertale characters, like, they're dancing. But when the chorus hits, they, like, jump into the sky, and they dance in the sky, and it just makes me, like, smile, and it gives me a little bit of, like, levity. Even if I'm having the worst day or the worst time, I'm, like, driving somewhere, half asleep, not having it today, and this song come on, it'll make me smile. Like, because I can't help but, like, think of that, like, very bizarre thought, but it was like one of the first things I thought of when I was like just listening to the soundtrack alone without looking at anything. It was like a clear vision, like, yes. And then since then I can't get it out of my head, so yeah, I wanted to share that bizarre thought with you. Last but certainly not least are two I'm squishing together, and you should understand why. Hopes and Dreams, Save the World. Those two, it's fine that they're together. These two songs are very important to me. They're my favorite out of the whole soundtrack, and I feel like they are my little safe haven or something. When I am in the pits of despair, just feeling like nothing is ever going to work out in the way that I hope, or nothing good will ever happen to me again. These two, I put them on. There have been times where I was feeling like that, or just feeling really overwhelmed at work, and I would just like take a break, and usually I would just like go to the bathroom because that was the place without people, and I would listen to this on my phone. And that sounds really weird, but I don't care. It helped me so much. It would help me get through the day, because sometimes it was just like I could not do it. So I'm very grateful to these two songs, yes. And something else that was really a nice addition to my feelings on Hopes and Dreams is in the sheet music part. One of the annotations says, "There was a period where I played the song nearly every day on the piano, dreaming about the game I had not finished yet." That like moved me tremendously to know that that was the song that like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know Toby Fox, it's none of my business. I'm not trying to. But I just, being somebody who is trying to make my own creative endeavor and grow it is hard. It's hard, and I'm not making a video game. So I feel like making a video game is hard because you have to do all these different components all in one. And the idea that this song was like the thing that he played as he like fantasized about the game that would be made, and frankly, the game that made him very successful, and not just success because that's only so important, but how it was able to touch me and touch people around the world. There's like people in Japan who like this game, there's people all over the place who like this game. And how, I don't know, it's just beautiful how like you start with an idea or a small like dream, and by sheer determination and making it happen and putting it out into the world, it can like touch so many people. It feels like not necessarily a point of connection, but like it's a beautiful thing. I think anybody, well, most people who want to create things, that's a big important part of like wanting your feeling to be understood and being able to have other people feel tenderly to the characters that you lovingly create. Or just, I don't know, getting the gist of the main takeaway of your game, that's also important. I don't know, it's just like, it's the most inspiring thing to me. It really, really, I don't know, it touched me very much. And I think because of all of that, maybe is a reason why I think Undertale for me came to me at the exact moment it needed to, kind of thing. Because Undertale was the main reason I had been messing around with this idea for years, kind of like casually here and there, but I just thought like, well, someone like me isn't creative, like someone like me can't do this kind of thing. And somehow Undertale was like, yes you can, yes you can. And since I played Undertale, I have been working like, I've been taking it very seriously and doing it as kind of like a part-time job, as serious as that. I don't know, I feel grateful, and I know that's not like Toby Fox made a game to make people create crap. Like that's not really the takeaway message I think of Undertale. But I think I think I'm not the only person. I think when you make things that inspire other people, it can branch out. Or even like the freaking mod stuff. People create these very elaborate worlds for the Undertale characters or whatever, and like, I don't know. I think it's cool when you see somebody doing something that you really admire, that it can help you, I don't know, believe in yourself too, or inspire you to try to go after things. That's just great to me. So yeah, I feel like these two songs are like defibrillators. So when I'm just like giving up, or I just feel so, because girl, it's easy to feel despair in 2021. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. That it feels like it gives me like a shock of like, no, focus, remember, things can be good, things can happen, like, don't give up on your dream. And it kind of like shocks me back into like, okay, yeah, you're right, get at it. So yeah. So in conclusion, Undertale is great, the soundtrack is great, Toby Fox is great, and we all knew this going into this video, didn't we? But that's okay. I just wanted to share my feelings about it because I don't know, I've really been listening to the soundtrack a lot recently, and it just made me all fired up, and you know me, when I get fired up, I want to make a video, so here we are. I want to know what songs are near and dear to your heart. Like, which ones do you go to for like a warm hug? Maybe a warm hug from Sans, thinking about Megalovania, or he beat you up a lot. Like, I don't know, let me know. I just think music is a beautiful thing that can really like light up people's souls and make you really feel all sorts of ways, and Undertale soundtrack gives you the good feels. Nah, it does. So, that's it for today. I don't know what you think of these kind of videos, but I had fun filming it, so hopefully you enjoyed it. So, until I see you, whatever I see you next, remember to be kind to others, especially yourself. Take care, and I'll see you later. Okay, bye-bye!